Hello, Cape Fear Copters. Today we're going to discuss flying the WL V922. Now, like a lot of us, we have started off with these little ones, such as the little Extreme 3.5. We've moved up to the Extreme S8. But now we want to go from flying the dual blades with the stabilizer bar to flying actually a single blade with its own little self-stabilizing. So I actually looked around many times on the internet trying to find somebody that just teach me how to hover it. So today we're just going to cover hovering it. And we're going to start with loading the battery. If I can get my camera person to come over here for just a second. And move in here. Now you'll notice on the bottom of the helicopter, you've got these little notches. And on the battery, it looks like that should fit in that notch. Fooled me several times. Actually, put the notch to the top. The battery slides in, you push in on both sides, and trust me, it don't always go easy until it locks into place. Okay, camera person, if you please would back away. On the controls, when we turn the controls on, you hear the beep. This button should always be to the back, this button should be to the back, and the throttle should be completely off. Notice in the screen here that everything is in the center mark. Okay. They say in the manual that the helicopter has to be at static level. Well, I had a hard time figuring out what static level was. Well, static level is supposed to be level. The helicopter has to bind with the controller. The helicopter has to be level with the floor. Unfortunately, the landing pad is not level with the floor. So what I have started doing is just taking the helicopter with the controller on, everything into no alarms, and then plugging in the helicopter and setting it on the floor beside the controller and just let it sit there. And if you'll notice, the camera person gets it, the blade starts jumping around. Now, camera person, if you would please back into the corner. This helicopter will get away from you. If you please, just stay on the helicopter. Now, before I take off, we're not going to use any rudder. Let's look at the control again, please. The rudder of the helicopter is left and right here. This is throttle. This is up and down, or up and down, left and right. But this is your rudder. We're not going to touch the rudder because we're actually using the ailerons, which is these. So to start with, this helicopter remembers everything you do. So if I go forward, it's going to go forward. It's going to go forward until I go backwards. When I go backwards, it's going to go backwards until I go forward. So to start to hover, to make a hover with this helicopter, if my camera person will keep the camera on the helicopter, I'm going to start spinning it up. I am not touching the rudder. Alright, I'm going to start getting faster and faster. You'll notice the helicopter starts moving from one side to the other. For example, it's going forward. I'm going to back it down. I'm going to barely bump it. See the difference? You want the helicopter to stay level. As I go up, it starts leaning to one side. I just barely bump it and get it level. So you just keep doing everything you can to keep it level. But you can't make no fast movements. Gotta be slow. And then I can take off. You'll notice every little movement I make, it remembers every movement I make. Alright. Now, instead of sitting here talking about how to make it happen, let's actually make it happen. Not good. Stop. Okay, as you can see, these things are a little hard to fly, especially if you're just used to ones that stabilize themselves. But don't get discouraged. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. Just make sure your battery is set all the way in place. Get it down here on the floor. Plug it in, set it static level, as they call it. Let the blaze jump around, let it find its place, and go again. I've done this. I've actually been playing with this thing for weeks, and I'm still having problems with it. So just watch the helicopter. The main thing is don't touch the rudder. Use everything with throttle, your ailerons, and your up and down. Starts getting out of control with you, just set it down, straighten it up. Make sure your battery's all the way in place. Don't sweat it. Like I said, I'm learning. Make sure you keep it level. Alright, you hear that vibration. If y'all heard that vibration, that means that I got it out of balance. If you hear that vibration, it's out of balance. Stop it. Let it reset. Start again. Keep it level. Keep it level. See that we got a lift problem here. Our battery's getting weak. So I'm going to restart it. Go to battery. Now these copters, if this one white gear right here starts sliding down, they will not lift up. So take fingers on both sides of the gear, fingers on the top, push them in. It'll never come off the ground. If that gear gets loose, you'll sit here and fight yourself forever thinking that you're doing something wrong, it won't lift off, nothing will happen. I'm just resetting the controller. It ain't nothing you're doing, it's just that gear has popped loose. Like I said, it's static level. It's gonna bounce, it's gonna jump, it's gonna have fun, it's gonna do its own little thing. Now at this point, it seems like every time you try to crank these things up, they always jump to the left. You can actually use the rudder at this point, speed it up a little bit, and turn the rudder back straight from you. Just remember, the copter remembers everything you do. Level, level, up. See, good hover, good hover. It's just, you got to keep it straight. If you go right, it's going to go right. It's going to go right, it's going to remember right until you go back left. And you have to stay on top of it. You like the throttle a little bit, it's going to drop. And it's going to drop until you give throttle. That's a perfect hover. Hover straight, never move it. Not going to happen. The more you practice, the better you get, the better I've gotten. But guys, y'all have seen what it takes to fly one of these little birds. And it takes a lot of work, a lot of practice. And it's never going to be as easy as flying one of these big boys right here. That one right there will fly so much easy. But taking the time to learn this will be a whole lot rewarding.